The taxi ride. Dear Patsy, I just got back from Jamaica. Girl, it was a wonderful experience. I especially loved seeing the family after so many years. 20 years was indeed a long time, and the Jamaica that I once knew is not the same. Everything is so modernized. Everything but the transportation system. I was staying with Aunt Bridget and her family in Savannah, Lamar, the capital of Westmoreland, when I decided to go see Grandpa, who is now living in Santa Cruz. My cousins wanted to take me, but I said, I know where Santa Cruz is. All I'll have to do is just grab a cab. After much arguing, they acquiesced. Besides, I wanted the experience of traveling this scenic country alone. I did not want to feel like a tourist in my own country. So they dropped me at the bus park in Savannah, Lamar. It was a balmy Monday morning. The bus park was very busy with the hustle and bustle of passengers as they alighted and boarded the buses and taxis. I straightened my spine and adjusted my dark glasses as I entered the fray of human activity. There were booths lined up at the side of the park and extending as far as the eye could see. They advertised and sold food, drink, and clothes. It had all the makings of a grand market. The buses and taxis were lined up according to the places they were going, while the drivers lounged at the side of their vehicles. Some of them were talking, eating, and even shouting at each other. The packers, as I later heard they were called, coerced, begged, and even forced people to go into the various vehicles. Girl, I was not even in the park for half a minute when I saw a fight over rights to a passenger. One packer was enticing a lady to go into his bus, while another tried doing the same. They each grabbed the poor lady's hand and started to pull her in opposite directions. "Let me go," the lady shouted. "Miss Effie, let me go." They totally ignored her, while they quarreled and cursed each other. Then one of them said, "Lady, no more beer you're going." "No," the poor lady replied angrily. "I'm just coming from Mobe." They both dropped her hands abruptly, and the lady fell cursing and swearing. "You all hog you," she shouted. "Why una can't leave people alone?" "Montego Bay, Santa Cruz, Black River," the packers shouted as they rushed toward anyone entering the park. Sometimes up to 6 of them surrounded one passenger, shouting the names of places in the passenger's face. There were a few passengers who refused to tell where they were going and suffered for it, as the packers would start to curse and call them names. Girl, I don't know how I was overlooked for as long as I was. Probably because everyone was watching the debacle with the passenger who fell. That was not my fortune for long, as a Rastafarian man in a soiled white shirt approached me. He was shouting place names as he approached. "Montego Bay, Santa Cruz." Completely forgetting that I was told by my cousins not to talk with my accent, I said, "Where are the Santa Cruz taxis, please?" It was as if the entire park came to a standstill. The guy in the dirty white shirt immediately grabbed my hands and snarled at the other men, who were advancing on me as if they saw the Holy Grail. "Monsieur Arfos," said my new companion, as he pushed and prodded his way through the crowded throng. I clutched my purse for dear life as they shouted unintelligible names of places at me. Meanwhile, I struggled to take my hands from the vice-like grip of the packer. "Let me alone," I shouted to the man, but he only gripped my hand tighter. It seemed as if he had suddenly developed a hearing impediment. "Lady," he said, turning to me, his dirty locks almost brushing my face. "You want to hire a car or drive with others?" He finally took his paws off my hands. I felt humiliated and just wanted to go back to Bridget's house and wait until my cousins returned to get a lift with them to Santa Cruz. What made me think that I should travel alone? "See the taxi them there," he said, as we approached a group of taxis. "Travel with Gussie, him drive good. he said, pointing to a middle-aged man with a wide smile. All him want is one more passenger. The taximen, like predators, started advancing and shouting in a chorus when they saw me. 2 more to go. Me want one. Me ready. I looked from vehicle to vehicle. Gussie already had one person in the car. Other taxis had 3 or 4. So I chose Gussie's vehicle, anticipating a comfortable ride. Besides, he said he was ready. You know, give me something to help you out, asked the packer as he walked beside me. Something? I asked incredulously. Yeah, about 10 US for them service, yeah. I was about to question this when Gussie walked up to him and said, Go away, you thief, you. The packer slunk away. Go to the front, he instructed me, smiling. Would you like a charter? No thanks, I said, wondering what a charter was. The sun was shining directly in the front seat when I sat down, and I anticipated that the driver would be coming after me. However, I was surprised when I looked around and he was nowhere to be seen. The sun continued to pelt me and I glanced at my watch. Where is the taxi driver? Here I was, toasting in the front seat of a taxi, with off-key humming in the back. I was irritated to the limit. Then the taximan returned with 4 people. He must have been gone for more than 20 minutes. Where was he going to put the 4 people plus the 2 of us already in the car? Smile upon yourself, he said, grinning. Oh no, I said to him as he flung himself into his seat and slammed the door. Lady, he said, as if speaking to a mentally impaired person. I asked if you want a charter. You said no, so just smile up yourself so we can leave. I was undecided. Should I take another taxi and wait for another half an hour, or should I just stay? I waited a fraction too long. The passenger door was yanked open, and a lady bordering on obesity looked inside. Me can't hold Gussie, man, she whined to the taxi driver. Gussie put a cushion between the seats over the emergency handbrake and instructed me to dress up. Dress up? I asked him, clueless as to what he was talking about. Sit down, Pandis, he said, pointing to the cushion. By now I was speechless. The man was serious. He wanted me to sit with the overweight lady in the front. As he instructed, so I did. I discarded all dignity and self-preservation and sat on the cushion while the larger portion of the woman was parked on me. I could not put it any other way. She was sitting in my ribs, and I could hardly breathe. She smelled decidedly fishy. Each time she moved her body, a fresh scent of fish would hit me while I struggled to inhale. Gussie roared out of the bus park, and I clutched the dashboard for dear life as he turned a corner. The lady in the front with me just rolled with the corner. It's as if she wanted to crush me to death. Turning to her, Gussie asked, What's up, Miss Helen? Nothing much. You hear say Trevor thief the partner money and gone a St. Angan hideout? Gussie looked shocked at this statement, and the car swerved in the road as he seemed to gather his thoughts. Obviously, they had a common pool in which they saved their money, and the banker ran away with the lump sum. Gussie was so shocked that his feet went straight to the floor and the gas pedal under it. We were well over 100 kilometers by now. He swerved from potholes, and with tires squealing, he took the corners. My life flashed before my eyes. I started thinking about you, the kids, and how I'd never get to see grandfather again, even after being so close to him. Then, miraculously, Gussie slowed down long enough to say, It's $20,000 in the partner for me, you know. I tell you, Miss Ellen replied. And me do have the last draw, so me not see a dime of that money. And the fish business not so wonderful right now, you know. Gussie swore, and Miss Ellen swore even more. I clutched the dashboard breathlessly, as Miss Ellen was not in the least bit concerned that I was practically dying under the weight of her bulk. Then just when I thought that things could not get worse, Gussie turned on the radio. What started as a taxi ride quickly became a dancehall session. The passengers in the back seat started to sing along with the music. Gussie and Miss Ellen were obviously determined that they would forget their woes in this manner, as Miss Ellen said to Gussie, "Turn it up some more, no Gussie man." Girl, the car was reverberating with the heady sound of reggae music. Miss Ellen's fish scent was killing me, and the driver was speeding as if driving an emergency vehicle. "Gussie, you no have no elephant man?" a young man on the back seat asked. I was perturbed. Who or what was Elephant Man, and where would Gussie have this thing? I was soon to find out that he was a popular dancehall artist. Gussie pushed a cassette into the cassette player and yelled above the music to me, "This is yardie style, nothing no sweeter than yard music." And then he started bobbing his head. Everybody in the taxi was energized, including Miss Ellen, who had no business rocking and pushing me closer to Gussie while he changed gears and rubbed my legs raw. I was livid. Though packed like sardines, everyone looked like they were enjoying the ride. When I requested that Gussie slowed down a bit, the cheeky taximan slowed to a crawl. Everyone snickered at my expense. Probably slowing down was not such a good idea, I thought to myself, as I inhaled big whiffs of Miss Ellen's scent. Thankfully, the rest of the passengers protested, so he switched again to race mode. The Elephant Man, who was singing on the radio, started singing "Signal the Plane," and Miss Ellen waved her big meaty hands in the air, imitating the signal that is given to a pilot when an airplane is about to take off. I almost lost my life, my hearing, and my sight. I closed my eyes tightly, my fear increasing, as the passengers with flailing arms threw their arms to and fro in the confined space of the car. Oh my God, are they crazy? Mercifully, the song changed, and Miss Ellen's elbow was once again firmly planted in my ribs. I tried to see the beautiful Jamaican landscape in the sleepy fishing village of White House and to take in the green lushness of the St. Elizabeth countryside. But what stands out most about that ride was the pain. When we reached the busy town of Santa Cruz, Gussie offered to take me where I was going in Santa Cruz for a small fee. "No way," I emphatically told him. "I'd rather walk." Girl, my knees were weak and my ribs felt like they were cracked. The sounds of Santa Cruz seemed to be coming from a distance when my taxi ride came to a grand finale. Thankfully, some of my family members came to the bus park to meet me. I was doubly glad to see them. Gussie charged me twice the normal fare, I later found out. I often wonder if it was my complaining about his speeding why he punished me. Girl, coming to Jamaica was a great experience, and next time I come, I want us to travel together. Who knows, we might even take one of those taxi rides. Sincerely yours, Ruth. If you enjoyed this, like, comment, and subscribe. Check the description box for more stories and find my books on Amazon. See you in the next story.